How interesting. Okay, well, let's try that again. Hello, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to 𝗟𝗟𝗩𝗘 MTG. I am 𝗟𝗓𝗩, your host. I was initially going to stream a Challenge 64 for y'all, but I made a mistake in doing the time conversion, and I missed the challenge. So we're doing a league today, which is a damn shame because I was quite ready to... Alright, sorry about that, y'all. I was trying to stream through my VPN and it just wasn't working. Anyway, hello, y'all. Thank you for tuning into 𝗟𝗟𝗩𝗘 MTG. I am 𝗟𝗓𝗩, your host. I was intending on streaming my challenge playthrough for Lantern Control in the challenge, but I misconverted the time and ended up being 2 hours late to the event. So that's not going to work. I'm going to do a league instead, which kind of sucks. I was really ready to do that challenge, but I'm going to have to do it another time. This is the long-term support version, version 3.1.3. I am marking this as LTS, kind of as a tradition that I found with Ubuntu releases. Other software releases are marked as LTS, and this is my official recommendation for. Ooh, I see. This is my official recommendation for if you want to play Lantern in leagues, maybe in paper. This is what I would recommend playing. It's got a couple of techie choices. Namely the 3 Pixis, which is something that I really liked starting out, and it seems like more and more community members have gotten on board with playing 3 Pixis over 3 Shredders. I am not playing a Underworld cookbook. Instead, I am electing to play Cling to Dust as my kind of life gain tech choice. The idea behind this was that Cling to Dust can deal with Flage really, really cleanly, and it can still gain life later on if necessary, and it draws cards if I need to. Very different than Underworld Cookbook. We'll see how that goes. I'm also playing only one Assassin's Trophy in the main. My other one is in the sideboard, and I have a Witherbloom command in the main board as a concession to Boros Energy. It just goes so fast. Being able to basically turn this into a third Collective Brutality is very nice, where you can just ping something and drain your opponent for 2. You could also maybe remove an Ocelot Pride and kill a Flip to Johnny, something like that. Only 3 Ancient Stirrings, only 3 Mistress Bauble, and only 2 Profane Tutor as my consistency suite. Only 1 Pomori Vault. I know a lot of people have been playing 2. Let's see what else. Sideboard is pretty straightforward. My signature is the 3 Duress in the sideboard, which come in a lot of different matchups, actually. And of course, we've got our sideboard Emrakul the Aeon Stored because we are responsible gamers and want to have an actual feasible game plan against Mill. So that's the deck. Give me a moment. I'll get a league started for y'all. And we have started round 1 against Dwight K. Schrute. This hand has... What game plan does this hand have? This hand does turn 1 Lantern, turn 2 Saga Profane Tutor, maybe? It's not a particularly... It's not a super strong hand. I'd rather one of these lands be like a Millrock or something, but it's serviceable, so I'll keep it. That is a Blood Crypt. That is a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Ooh, we're going to be playing against something really cool here. Alright, well, let's see what I draw. That is a Pixis. So I might be spending my turn 2 playing Inquisition Pixis, perhaps. I'm going to play this Dark Boar Pathway on the black side and play my Lantern of Insight. I don't know if I need... Oh, it's this deck. I see. It's this deck. All right, so this deck is going to try and turbo out Hollow Ones, Goblin Lore. This deck is going to be trying to turbo out Hollow Ones at a blisteringly fast pace. I really would like to find a Ensnaring Bridge quite quickly. So I actually might take my my second turn and play that Profane Tutor, trying to dig for a bridge. Yeah, you got it. So they're still holding that Goblin Lore. I'm going to pop this out. They're going to draw a Bloodstained Mire and 2 other cards. Fear of Missing Out. Which I don't have in my list because I haven't updated this to Duskborn yet. So, just gonna go ahead and do one of those. They've got the Fear of Missing Outs in hand. When it... Huh. Interesting. Okay, so this is a pretty good deck for that. So, they've milled the Bloodstained Mire. And they've milled the... discarded a Raucous Theater. So their hand, I believe, is Goblin Lore and 2 Fear of Missing Outs. I am going to... Oh, I discarded my Blooming Marsh, too. That's not good. Yeah, I really need to get this Profane Tutor down as soon as possible. I'm just fortunate that my opponent didn't discard all of my lands. Oh, man. This Dragon's Rage Channeler is not going to be particularly large right now. They have instant land sorcery. No. Yeah. Instant land sorcery. If any one of these 2 makes it into the graveyard, then he'll have enchantment. I kind of want their creatures to be big because I'm not going to be able to hand dump. Because I'm drawing this Assassin's Trophy here. Although... Verdant Catacombs will help. Yeah. Profane Tutor, please save me. That is a Blood Crypt and another Fear of Missing Out. They played the Blood Crypt. Is this a Goblin Lore or is it a Fear of Missing Out? Okay, yep. Fear of Missing Out. They're going to discard a card and draw a card. So they drew another Fear. So they just drew a Fear into a Fear, basically. So I'm going to take a ton of damage here. When it attacks for the first time each turn, untap target creature, and then it gets an additional combat phase. Okay, so I'm going to be taking 8 down to 11 here. I actually might need, because they're likely going to be untapping the Nethergoyf here. I need to find an Ensnaring Bridge. I'm going to... I think I'm going to hold up this Assassin's Trophy. Going to play my Pixis. I'm just going to hold up Trophy. Do I want to activate Pixis? Keep them off Goblin Lore. I'm not entirely certain I want to do that. They already have a Goblin Lore in hand. I have several discard effects. I'm going to be taking 5 this turn, down to 6. I think I kind of want to take them off the Goblin Lore. I think I changed my mind. I'm going to grab the Forest. And I'm not going to be drawing this Verdant Catacombs anyway. So let's go ahead and exile that Goblin Lore. That just digs really deep for like a Lightning Bolt or something, which is going to be my primary... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, at least there's an Ensnaring Bridge on top of my deck. Alright, so they have a Burning Inquiry. So I could be taking up to 8 damage this turn. Yeah, they're just gonna fire off that Burning Inquiry. That feels so bad. And I believe I will just kill the Nethergoyf now. Alright, so the Burning Inquiry is gone. They're going to draw a Hollow one and 2 other cards. Nethergoyf and Orcish Bowmasters. So they drew Nethergoyf and an Orcish Bowmasters. And what did they discard? Goblin Lore, Fear of Missing Out, and Nethergoyf. So they played the Hollow one. And of course I've still got Thoughtseize in my hand. Of course I've still got Thoughtseize in my hand. They couldn't just make this easy on me. I actually think I'm just dead here. Yeah, I think I'm just dead here. What do I grab off this Profane Tutor? No, they have Orcish Bowmasters, so even in the best case scenario, I will, maybe I grab a land off of this. I grab an Inquisition for myself. I Inquisition myself, take the Thoughtseize. I play the Ensnaring Bridge. This grabs Inquisition, and then I just naturally top deck a Black Source. But I don't have enough mana to pay this Lantern of Insight. I'm going to concede the game. That's unfortunate. Ooh, that hurt. I just didn't go fast enough. The Burning Inquiries kind of messed up my game plan, and it did not help. But yeah, my opponent did very good in this game, and I lose. Let's go ahead and begin sideboarding. What cards are bad in this matchup? I feel like Cling to Dust isn't particularly useful. I feel like Grafdigger's Cage isn't particularly useful. I feel like Pithing Needle isn't particularly useful. I didn't see many good Pithing Needle targets. What cards are good? Bloodchief's Thirst is good. Bloodchief's Thirst is really, really good. Flaying Tendrils, their stuff gets too big too quickly. I don't think I want Flaying Tendrils. I might be interested in an Assassin's Trophy if I can find another cut. Do I take out my Thoughtseizes and replace them with Duresses? I don't know if I'm interested in that. Collective Brutality can at the very least like hit an Orcish Bowmasters or something and act as a hand dump. I think I am interested in siding out a single Thoughtseize and just playing to the board. I'll go ahead and try this. I would like to be on the play. Yeah, I'll keep this. I don't think I fetch Shock here. I don't think I need to fetch Shock. I think I can just grab a Forest and then fire off a Stirrings and try and find a Lantern or something. And then the second turn I can play Swamp and then like Lantern Thirst, their first play. They kept 7. Yeah, I'll go ahead and fetch my Forest here. Forest feels bad until it doesn't. Do I want a second Ensnaring Bridge? Now that's an interesting conundrum. Second Ensnaring Bridge would insulate me against a Burning Inquiry type effect. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. Go ahead and F6. I don't have any relevant effects here. I'm not going to try and bluff a Force of Negation. That's a Burning Inquiry, and my Bloodchief's Thirst is gone. But I still have 2 lands and Ensnaring Bridge. How many hollow ones is my opponent going to throw down on me? Wow. Double Street Wraith. Just 1 hollow one. Let's go ahead and play Lantern off of this Forest. And then I can use the Verdant Catacombs to fetch if I want to. I don't really want to fetch. I do want to play my land drop. And I'm not going to play this Mishra's Bauble because it will increase my chances of keeping an Ensnaring Bridge in hand if my opponent just plays another Burning Inquiry. Or a Goblin. I guess Goblin Lore doesn't actually affect me. That is a Nethergoyf. And a Raucous Theater on top of their deck. That is a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Interesting that they, yeah, they're just double playing it. Alright, well, I'm gonna take a little bit of damage next turn. I'm gonna fall to 9. My opponent has 2 cards in hand that are unknown. It's a lot of lands. I don't really want all of these lands. I think I just slam Bridge. I don't think I get fancy with it. I'm gonna play this Mishra's Bauble out now so that this hollow one doesn't attack. And I do not believe I'm going to be popping that Bauble anytime soon. There's a Raucous Theater. They probably don't want the hollow one. Thoughtseize, huh? And a Fear of Missing Out. So they're going to discard something. Discarded their Nethergoyf, and they've got a Thoughtseize in hand. They're going to swing for 6, put me to 9. And I think this next turn, I am going to fetch Shock down to 6 so that I can play this Inquisition. Do I really need to do that, though? I would be going down to 2 cards. Yeah, I'm going to fetch Shock and play the Inquisition, because if I go down to 2 cards, then this Fear of Missing Out gets to swing in for 4. Jeez, that's so ridiculously strong. Alright, so time to fetch Shock. Unfortunate that I'm not going to be getting that Profane Tutor. I'd really like that. Alright, let's fetch shock here. Inquisition, our opponent. A Thoughtseize and a Nethergoid. So let's take the Thoughtseize. Hide behind Ensnaring Bridge number 2. And now the name of the game is hating these. So I can safely crack this Mishra's Bauble because even if there's another land under this Mishra's Bauble, I'll still be able to only fall to 1 card in hand, which is low enough to prevent all of my creatures' opponents from attacking. Instead, I draw my 1 Pithing Needle. That's interesting. I think I'm gonna hold the Pithing Needle. I don't know what to put it on. I have plenty of lands in play. I don't really think I need to worry about that. This Ancient Stirrings is going to be finding a Mill Rock with any hope. They got a Lightning Bolt in hand. And I think for the same reason that I fired off Bauble last turn, I'm going to fire it off this turn as well. I know for a fact that I can go down to 0 cards in hand if I need to. Well, maybe not 0 cards in hand, but definitely 1 card in hand. That's fine. I don't have any fetchables left in my deck. I don't think I fetch to thin here. They can, Thinker's saying that they have to be, they're able to, oh, I'm just not paying attention to chat. Hello, everybody. So Thinker is saying that my opponent can exile cards to attack under bridge. This is true, actually. A good point. Because it says exile any number of other cards with 4 or more card types among them, so they can just exile their entire graveyard if they wanted to. I will fire my Stirrings now and pray for a Mill Rock. These are not Mill Rocks. I've played my land for turn. I'm going to fail to find. Fomori Vault. Save me, Fomori Vault. And honestly, here, I think I'm just going to name a fetch land. It's not sexy, but I can't really think of anything else to name. Yep, give me a second. Thank you. Alright. I'm just not sure what else to name here. I could name Ōbnixilis, maybe? I'm gonna name Ōbnixilis. Alright. So I'm effectively at 3. This Nethergoid, man. So Thoughtseize is going to be a problem. Ah, yeah, no. Thinker, you're right. I should have named the onboard Street Wraith. That would have been nice to do, I think. So now if my opponent just has a Lightning Bolt anywhere near the top of their deck. Yeah, they have ways of exiling stuff. 6 or greater. Yeah. If I had just named Street Wraith, this would be a lot easier, I think. Let's go ahead and cycle this Thoughtseize into something nice. Grab it, Bloodchief's Thirst, and I'm going to Bloodchief's Thirst their Nethergoid. Well, I did see Street Wraith earlier in the match. I saw 2 Street Wraiths right here. So I do have to blame myself just a little bit. Detectives Phoenix, which it appears they're just going to cast. I mean, I'm okay with that. Do I want to get rid of this Assassin's Trophy? Yes, I do. Because worst case... Oh, it's a Codex Shredder. Oh, thank goodness. Although, interestingly enough, I could take this Witherbloom command and Witherbloom command my own Pithing Needle and then Codex Shredder back it and then get something else. But I think I'm just going to grab the very obvious Codex Shredder. Ooh, and that is a Pixis. All right, we take those. Yeah, Thirst on Darcy was probably correct there too. Fear of missing out is in their hand. All right, they're casting that. Do they have a way of dealing 1 damage to me? Wow, I kind of feel bad for getting rid of my, I'm going to mill this Tarfire, fully expecting my opponent to cycle into it. Yep, there we go. Okay, now Tarfire is in their hands. Alright, and we are just chilling now. There are some ways that my opponent can get out of this. Oh, I shouldn't have sided out my Grafdigger's Cage. But I'm not entirely certain that my opponent knows those methods. You may surveil 1. That is a Lightning Bolt off the top of their deck. I don't believe I want them drawing that Burning Inquiry. So I think I'm going to exile that. Because I don't want to draw this Thoughtseize either. You may have another Detective's Phoenix. Yeah, this Pithing Needle was just completely wasted. Alright. So Tarfire's gone. Blood Crypt is on top. And they've got a... They got a Blood Crypt and a Thoughtseize in hand. Alright. I think they do have an... no, they don't have an onboard way of killing me right now, but they could Nethergoyf for... They could Nethergoyf and just exile their whole yard to the escape ability, and then they could use an instant to try and kill me. So I think... yeah, don't fetch. I've got an instant lose button right here. Press this button to lose the game. Bloodstained Mire. So I think on top of everything else, I'm going to keep my opponent off of instants. And I don't actually want to mill them right now. Bloodstained Mire, they've played. My brain's finally coming online. I'm remembering how to play this deck again. Alright, Mountain is fine. See, I could have needled Mishra's Bauble, and I just didn't. Where'd that fear of missing out come? Where did that fear of missing out come from? Maybe it was that, but they're gonna play this, grab this Mishra's Bauble anyway. Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and let them surveil. Construct blockers will fix this problem. They are going to surveil the top. And I'm simply just not going to allow them to cast this Tarfire. The good thing about Mishra's Bauble is that they can activate it at any time, but the draw is very, very much telegraphed. Yes, you may fetch to keep Tarfire in your deck. So yeah, I'm just going to... just going to make constructs here. Going to Inquisition myself. Oh no, I don't have anything in my hand. And I'm just gonna make this now. Like, there's not really a reason for me to bother with anything else. So this construct token blocker is going to solve the Nethergoyf problem. They have 2 Nethergoyfs in their yard. Yeah, you can draw a Dragon's Rage Channeler. I've already given you plenty of those. Sir Cosmopolitan Kittercaticus, what are you doing? No, you may not dig through my tools and use them as a bed. Sir! That's my cat. Alright, so they've got 2 dead cards in hand, basically, is what's going on. So I'm going to start winning the game now. Because, despite popular opinion, Lantern does, in fact, need to win games and cannot just do nothing forever. Ooh, surgical extraction, huh? Ooh, you may surgical me, daddy. Yeah, let's go ahead and make another blocker. And I'm going to grab another copy of Pixis here. Let's go ahead and take that surgical. You may not surgical me today, daddy. I'm not going to mill that Mishra's Bauble. Alright, F6. Get my F6 equity, which is so incredibly important to have when playing Lantern. You have no idea. Alright, so my opponent will get a grand total of like 2-ish draws. Oh, they're surveilling to top now. Oh, they're surveilling. They're not surveilling to top. That is a brave and bold and incredibly sexy move that they just did. So my opponent will now get only a few more draws, actually. Let's go ahead and exile that Tarfire. You may not have a Tarfire. And let's exile the Mishra's Bauble, sure. And may as well also mill the Dragon's Rage Channeler. You may have a Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is perfectly acceptable for you to draw. Molten Collapse. Of course, I should have expected this card. You may not have a Molten Collapse. I will be taking that Molten Collapse from you. Alright. Mill the Molten Collapse, please. Mill the Tarfire, please. Am I comfortable with them having Surgical Extraction as their last draw? I think that's fine. I don't really have any secrets, and Surgical Extraction is not going to fix any of the problems that they have. Alright, let's go ahead and mill them again. Exile that. Alright, and I'm going to grab a lantern. I'm going to exile the remaining 2 cards of their deck. I'm going to play the Smycosynth Gardens, and I'm going to F6. Is my opponent going to cast this Surgical Extraction? No, they're not. They should have just cast the Surgical Extraction. I don't know why they didn't. Now we have to win a game with 9 minutes on the clock. I think that's probably fine. Now that I know a little bit more about their deck, I think I'm going to keep the Grafdigger's Cage. I think Collective Brutality stay in. Assassin's Trophy is kinda nice. Witherbloom Command is less nice. And it was kind of nerve-wracking to be so low on life. I think I'll bring in 1 Cling to Dust. But what do I take out? I've already taken out a Thoughtseize. Maybe I should choose between Grafdigger's Cage and Cling to Dust. I think I'm going to choose the Cling to Dust. Alright. My opponent gets to decide if they're on the play or not. This hand has an Ensnaring Glitch in it, which is a huge deal in this matchup, actually. My opponent does have Thoughtseizes and Burning Inquiries, and this hand does not hedge against those. But let's see if my opponent is capable of putting a turn 1 Hollow One into play. Nope, they're just gonna Thoughtseize me. That's fine. It's got a couple of redraws with these baubles. I think I'm okay with that. There's that Profane Tutor that I wanted to see. No turn 1 threat is quite nice. And this will be a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Opponent? They got a Tarfire and a Lightning Bolt in hand. Oh no. Has my opponent done a cringe? My opponent has done a cringe. My opponent has done a cringe. Alright, chat, how do we punish them most effectively? How do we punish them most effectively? I only know 2 of the cards in their hand, which are the Tarfire and the Lightning Bolt. I could take the Coward's Path and suspend this Profane Tutor and just rely on their natural Mana Screw to slow them down enough to where I can basically just build out an entire lock. I think that's probably correct, but I could Mana Screw them. But I'm going to be disciplined and I'm not going to. I think, Mickey, I think you are correct. The other cards are probably the draw discard spells. I'm going to suspend my Profane Tutor now. And I am not going to Mana Screw my opponent. Mishra's Bauble. Even though it's super tempting to do it, they are desperately digging for that second land. That's a Lightning Bolt. That Street Wraith is on top of their deck. It's not anymore. That's a land. They want to draw that pretty badly. Yeah, you may draw that, I think. I think I'm going to just pop all my baubles right now. That brings me up to 4 cards in hand. Micah's in the Gardens is 3, Pixis is 2, Stirrings is 1. I think I can afford to pop 1 more bauble. I think my opponent has a pretty slow hand, and I would really, really love to draw a Thoughtseize right now. Pixis, Mycosynth Gardens. I did no such thing. Instead, I just drew a ton of lands. Ooh, and that Bloodsheep's Thirst, which I'm not going to be able to play. So let's go ahead and grab an Ensnaring Bridge. And now I can play this Pixis. Now the question is, do I want to take them off this Street Wraith? I think I'm going to allow my opponent to cast an instant. They did not cast an instant. I don't think I'm going to take them off the Street Wraith. So I still have a Profane Tutor on Suspend here. Fear of missing out. Discard a card, then draw a card. So I don't think I want them having the Burning Inquiry. I think it's just too risky. Ooh, an Inquisition on top of my deck. Well, this makes things very interesting. What did they discard? They discarded the Street Wraith, actually. I think that might have been incorrect to do. This guy's going to attack. I'm going to fall to 11. And I have an Inquisition on top of my deck. I'm not entirely certain that I even want this Profane Tutor anymore, because I was going to grab this Inquisition anyway. I could use Profane Tutor to grab a Mill Rock. I could play this Ensnaring Bridge. I could take the 4 from Fear of Missing Out. No, but if I cast this, then I don't get the Inquisition. I'm not going to cast this. Alright, let's go ahead and see what our opponent's hand is. Double Tarfire. Alright, let's try and take this Burning Inquiry. Orcish Bowmasters is fine. You've got an Orcish Bowmasters. I'm perfectly chill with that. Alright, this game is more or less locked up now. Now we just need to be really fast with our stuff. So forgive me if my hand tracker is not going to be updated for a little bit. I just need to play this as quickly as I possibly can. I'm going to build out a lock extraordinarily quickly. Bloodstained Mire is fine. And they have a hollow one in hand. They don't have a hollow one in hand. And a Tarfire. Alright. So let's cast this. I'm going to drain my opponent. And now I am speed. I said, what on earth? Is my keyboard just disconnected now? Nope, it's not disconnected. Weird. Alright, now I need to mill 40 cards in 320 seconds, 240 seconds or something like that. Probably should have just let them keep the Darcy. Alright, I'll let them keep that. Dragon's Rage Channeler. And I want this Shredder, so I'm just going to not mill it. Speed run, speed run, speed run, speed run, speed run, speed run, speed run. Orcish Bowmasters, I couldn't care less. I'm at a high enough life total to where this is a completely irrelevant card. You may have a Blood Crypt. I'm just going to start exiling cards. Let's go ahead and F0. It's really important when playing this deck in tight situations like this, where my timer is really low, that you use incredibly skillful and oh, I didn't need to exile that Pixis. Oh well. And liberal use of your F6 and your F0 functions. All right. Cling to Dust is exiled. I don't need it. F6 and F0 are your friends. 6 on your own turn after playing your spell. And then F0 on your opponent's turn once their upkeep happens and they pass priority to you. They're going to try and draw into something relevant here. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I don't even think I'm going to let them have a hollow one. They did keep the hollow one. Yeah, I don't really... My lock is so strong that I don't even need to let them draw the hollow one. I can just let them draw nothing. Wow, a Magebane Lizard. I'm glad that I brought in those Bloodchief's Thirst. How incredible. You may not have a Magebane Lizard. I will save targets here. And I don't think I even need to bother with the Codex Shredder. Okay, is that better? That is better. Very good. Alright, so I do not need to allow my opponent to have this Nethergoyf. Or this Mishra's Bauble. Or this Nethergoyf. Come on, just something dead. There we go. That's fine. Thoughtseize is perfectly fine. Okay, just gonna mill them a little bit, and they're only gonna get a couple more draws. I'm just gonna take the hit, and I'm going to fall to 7. Like, it just doesn't matter. May as well take the Thoughtseize out of my opponent's hand while I do it. Not allowing them to draw another Goyf. Gonna mill that hollow one. Surgical is fine. You may surgical me. So they're only going to get a couple more draws here. Hollow one is gone. Orcish Bowmasters is gone. Win the match. Nice. Okay. This match brought to you by This profane tutor sitting in exile. Just, ever since I found out that the suspend rules have been changed, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. I've been playing this card a lot nicer now. Let's go ahead and start up round 2. I'll be right back. All right, we are on round 2 versus Disputed Bump. 7775. Hello, Disputed Bump. I will play against you first, but not with this terrible opening hand. Oh, not with this either. Oh, not like this deck. Please not like this. I play 22 lands in this deck. This is a mulligan to 5. And that is just 3 lands and 2 Ancient Stirrings. Is that? I could keep 3 lands, a Stirrings, and a Bridge. How do I feel about this? I think this is fine. I don't think that I'm going to cast this Ancient Stirrings on turn 1. I just don't think I need to. I think I can just play this Overgrown Tomb tapped. Huh. First hand had like 6 lands in it, second one had 0. Both of them were just instant moles. Just the mole to 5 just kind of feels bad. But I suppose it can't be helped. I'm still gonna bluff Force of Negation. That is a Eugene's Labyrinth. That's terrifying. Worldbreaker underneath that. That's terrifying. Is this gonna be a Chalice on 1? That's terrifying. An Underworld Cookbook. Huh. Alright. Fire off my Ancient Stirrings now, I suppose. Didn't find anything of note except for this Grafdigger's Cage, so I guess I'll play that. And I could... This is mine. What do I make of this? They've got green. It's likely not the... I don't think I'm going to play my Ensnaring Bridge. I think Ensnaring Bridge might be a bit of a liability in this situation. My opponent's not going to discard it. I think I'm going to get Karned here. To... the Underworld Cookbook, huh? I might even get Kozilek's Commanded on my Construct. That's a Lantern. That's very good. Yeah, they're gonna Kozilek's command my construct here. Nice. All right, so I successfully took my opponent off of the attacking plan. My opponent does not have a Karn the Great Creator in hand. What do I make of this? I feel like Pithing Needle is the correct play here. I kind of have a lock in place already, although Pithing Needle on Ugin's Labyrinth would prevent them from getting World Breaker back. But I don't have a Pixis yet. Oh, I just don't know their hand. I don't know what's important to do in this situation. What do I really worry about them having in hand? They have to have something big in hand. I kind of want to find a discard spell. In that case, it would be best to get Pixis and then use my lock to dig for things that I need. I don't know. Like, I see the argument for Needle on Labyrinth, but I'm not entirely convinced that's correct. I feel like that's just answering what's on board and not answering what's in my opponent's hand. I think I want a lock. And I think that my opponent is far enough playing World Breaker that I would rather just have the lock. And I can dig myself into other things if I need them. That's a One Ring. Alright. I guess they did just make a bunch of Eldrazi spawns. You may not have a One Ring. I'm not prepared to answer that card right now. You may have an All-Is Dust. Alright, so they got an All-Is Dust and 3 unknowns. Is this a One Ring anyway? That's a Karn the Great Creator. You have got to be kidding me. Oh, Life is Pain. So they're gonna make another Kozilek's command here, and my only out is a naturally drawn Assassin's Trophy, of which I have 1 in my deck. And this Karn the Great Creator is just going to absolutely take over the game now. Liquid Metal Coating. So they're just going to start... Do I even want to show them more of my deck at this point? I could Tactical Concede. This draw would have had to be an Assassin's Trophy. I'm going to Tactical Concede. I'm not going to be able to kill that Karn the Great Creator. Alright. So this is just straight up good old standard, no funny business, colorless draw. More or less colorless draw. Close to colorless draw. I want my Duresses. Duresses are good. Duresses are good. Terra Sunders for the One Ring are good. Assassin's Trophy is good. Extirpate is good. Lots of stuff is good. What's bad? Collective Brutality is abysmal. Witherbloom Command is abysmal. Cling to Dust is pretty bad. Inquisitions are not great. What does Inquisition hit? I'm on the play, so it would hit like a chalice. I think Inquisition isn't good enough. I need to side out one more card. Digger's Cage? Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. I can't think of a card that would be relevant for Grafdigger's Cage. Let me go ahead and side like this. Take a screenshot of that real quick so that I remember how I sideboarded. All right, and we are on the play. Please give me a decent hand. This hand has two trophies in it. Oh Lord. If I have a black or a green land on top of my deck, this hand is amazing. This is kind of risky. This is kind of risky. I could shuffle my lantern and bobble myself. I think I'm gonna try and get lucky. I have 2 lanterns. Come on, opponent. You want to mulligan to Oblivion. Mull to 4. Mull to 5, like I did last game. They still haven't decided if they want to keep or not. Mulligan to 6. There we go. A Devourer of Destiny, you say? Yes, you may have a Devourer of Destiny. And I will see what you put on top. Come on, let's get really lucky here. Let's get a black producing land or a green producing land on top of the deck. At this point, I'll even take a colorless land. Even take a second Urza Saga. Just something.
Oh yeah, let me tell you something here.
At this point, I'll take my lantern just resolving. Oh man. I wonder if my opponent is double queuing.
Want to tell you a little bit about that?
All right, well, if, oh, they disconnected. Oh, they disconnected. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I don't like taking my wins like this. Oh, nope, there they are. Okay. Here we go. They're back. Hopefully. Anyway. I guess since we have a little bit of downtime here, I have made several changes to the stream, the layout, how everything looks. Would like to get some feedback from anyone who's watching at the moment. What do you think about the changes that I've made? Do you like them? Ooh, black on top. Do you think that I've been trending towards a positive direction? Have I made any changes that y'all don't particularly care for? Just like to get some feedback, especially with the whole reboot. Since I got my new computer, I've been trending in a particular direction. That is a cat Kozilek's command. That is a Dark War pathway. So I'm going to cast that. There's Talisman of Curiosity, which they cast instantly. Still have 5 cards in hand, only one of which I know. Let's go ahead and play this Dark War pathway as a black producing land. And I'm going to see what my opponent does here. I am on the aggressive stance. So my opponent needs to do something to answer what I'm doing. That is yet another Talisman of Curiosity. That is yet another Talisman of Curiosity. How interesting. They're gearing up to do something big, and I don't like it. I think they might just be trying to go for a really big... They might be just trying to go for a really big Kozilek's command. In which case, I think I'm going to try and sidestep that by not making a construct this turn. I'm just going to cast my spells instead. Let's grab a Pixis. How interesting. Well, obviously I take the Kozilek's command here. Although, no. I can answer the Karn the Great Creator. I'm going to take the Kozilek's command. And I'm going to attempt Fate here. There we go. Okay. So Kozilek's command is down. And I'm going to play out my Lantern. I'm going to get a nice little swingy swing in. Determine whether or not I want my opponent drawing this forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's fine. I've got this Blooming Marsh on top of my deck. They've got the Forest played. Are they just gonna kick Mycospawn? I think it's probably correct to just kick Mycospawn here, right? Okay with losing Blooming Marsh. Do they have any nice tech lands? Or is this Tower? Or is this Mine? Okay. Well, now I'm in very real danger of dying to my opponent's creatures. So I think I'm going to sack this Mishra's Bauble. I'm going to draw myself another card. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My opponent cannot actually... Ooh, that's an Urza's Saga. I think Urza's Saga here is a... Is it a bit of a trap? I don't know if Urza's Saga is actually a trap. I think it is a trap. I'm gonna go ahead and attack. They're only 1 mana away from casting this. Yeah, I don't think I want them having that. I think I'm comfortable just exiling that. Bridge, I'm okay with having. Bridge is going to solve a lot of my problems. Consigned to memory. Can't say I'm surprised. Alright, Karn's in play. I have 2 Assassin's Trophies, so I can trophy both the Karn and the thing they grab off of Karn. But what are they going to grab? What thing could they grab that would absolutely wreck me right now? Probably a Stone Brain, if they have one. A Stone Brain would be very, very bad for me. Don't care about Chalice of the Void. Ah! It's not just any Chalice of the Void, it's a Chalice of the Void on 3. Yeah, you got it. So let's think here. That is an expedition map. And I'm going to just Assassin's Trophy. Now, here's an interesting thing. Do I Assassin's Trophy the Karn? Or do I Assassin's Trophy the Sowing Mycospawn? Honestly, I think I take the Mycospawn. I think I'm going to take the Mycospawn. Because they don't have any more plays that they can make, really. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Mycospawn. Thinker, that is an excellent suggestion. And I'm going to kill Karn. And I'm going to kind of just let this Chalice on 3 happen. I'm going to move to my second main here. Attack Karn. Karn is going to die. I could just let them have the consign and kill them with Saga Constructs. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. It's a bit risky. It's a bit risky. But I would rather them not draw something like that Kozilek's Command. Alright, let's see what land they get here. Last time they just completed Tron. Yeah, they just got another Tron piece. I could even be extraordinarily nasty and trophy the Devourer. I think I'm gonna do that. And then I just need to keep them off of 1 draw. Yeah, they just straight up don't have a Boseiju in their deck. They just don't have it. And honestly, with this board, I'm not really worried about Boseiju anyway. What are they going to Boseiju? My Ursa Saga? That one right here. Yeah, they just don't have it. And this is the draw that I needed to keep my opponent off of. So this game is won. Thank you very much to Urza Saga for winning this game for me. You cannot consign this. This is an activated ability, not a triggered ability. If you wanted to consign something, you should have consigned the trigger to bring this to the second chapter. But no, this game is won, and you have a completely dead... Oh, I didn't play the Urza Saga. You know what? It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I'm just going to F6 through this turn. Alright. So I got a win on the board. Let's try and turn it into a match win. I kind of like this sideboard plan. I'm just going to run it right back. Now I don't have the advantage of being on the play, and this hand is kind of stinky. Just going to ship it. I'm just going to ship this hand. I don't like this hand. I'm going to mulligan. My opponent has kept 7. Bottom the Mycosynth Gardens. This hand makes a ton of constructs. That is a lantern. I'm going to fetch basic forest here. All right, have fun with your homework, Mickey. I will continue playing this deck. Let's F6 here. That is an Uggin's Labyrinth. I think I'm okay with my opponent drawing an Uggin's Labyrinth. No imprint. Y'all, we have a no imprint on the Uggin's Labyrinth. What does that mean? That means they want to cast every single spell in their hand? Do I go extraordinarily aggro and kill this talisman? I don't think I do. Do I go extraordinarily aggro and kill the talisman? I don't know what my opponent has in hand is the problem. They didn't imprint. That tells me they don't have anything in hand that has mana value 7 or greater. If I don't kill this talisman, then my turn is just play Pixis. If they did have Tron in hand, then they would have played a Tron piece instead of the Uggin's Labyrinth. So that tells me that they have a hand that's full of 7 mana value spells that they want to cast. Spells like Consign to Memory, or Sowing Mycospawn, or Karn the Great Creator, or the One Ring. Which I could actually answer the One Ring on time. I'm going to take an extremely aggressive line, and I'm going to do this. This is an extremely aggressive line. I feel like they might have been holding up a Consign to Memory. And I'm going to try and kill them before that Emrakul the World Anew comes down. Alright, they put it underneath that. Was this all just bait the entire time? They've got a Karn. Well, there's nothing I could have really done about that anyway. They grabbed the One Ring. Yeah, I don't really care about the One Ring. Now, do I play this Pixis and then trophy the Karn? Or do I just make a construct? I think I'm gonna play Pixis and trophy the Karn. And I want them to draw this Urza's Mine. So I'm going to do it on their draw step. Alright. Let's go ahead and trophy their Karn. Karn is gone. They got a forest. Played the Urza's Mine for turn. They're gonna grab the One Ring here. They're going to draw that breeding pool, and then I'm just gonna needle it. And I don't really care about this Trinisphere, actually. Yeah, you can draw the Trinisphere, that's fine. Grab a Pithing Needle, name the One Ring. There we go. Play another Urza Saga. And allow our opponent to draw this Trinisphere. And if they go... That's a Trinisphere. And if they somehow manage to deal with this construct, perhaps with a really big Kozilek's command, then, and they just, like, pop this Ugin's Labyrinth and bring this Emrakul the World Anew back into their hand, I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm perfectly fine with that. The onus is definitely on my opponent to handle what I'm doing right now. And it looks like they're just going to be doing a really big Kozilek's command here. Yeah, you got it. So that's one of my two Urza Sagas dealt with. They have 3 cards in their hand. I don't know what they are, except for one of the Trinispheres. Well, that'll let me find out. I'm fine with that. I could play this from Mori Vault. Use it to play this Lantern of Insight. Are they going to consign to memory my Lantern of Insight? Oh, I'm so excited. Please, consign to memory my Lantern of Insight. Please, 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 please. Yes. Yeah! Oh, that's fantastic news. I will happily take that trade. You got it. Their last card in hand has to be really, really, really good. I don't know what it could be. Let's find out. This looks like a One Ring. That's fine. That means that I'm not going to be able to duress them next turn. I'm not going to be able to find out what they got. You're going to swing in with your Eldrazi spawns? No? Shame. Okay, I really do want this duress, and my tokens are going to be so large that I can just handle this Devourer of Destiny. It's another consign to memory. No way. No way. My opponent doesn't seem to know the difference between an activated and a triggered ability, which is kind of unfortunate for them, because they noticed that they tried to counter these activated abilities, but they can't really do it. Wow. Yeah, this game is basically wrapped up at this point. That's beautiful. Yeah, you got it. You got it. You may have a Devourer of Destiny. So they got 1, 2, 3, if they bring it back, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is nowhere near the 12 that they would need. Oh, I need to auto-heal to that. This is incredible. Yeah, you may exile a non-land permanent that's one or more colors. They're not even casting the Trinisphere. I'm gonna take that Trinisphere with my Duress this turn. Let's just go ahead and... It doesn't really matter what order I do this in. I'm gonna grab a Lantern of Insight. Play Lantern of Insight. And then Duress my opponent. Take that Trinisphere. Okay, and we're chilling. Oh, he did. Dang it. Do I even care if they draw the Sowing Mycospawn? I think I care a little bit. Yeah, I care a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna let them draw the Sowing Mycospawn. That's fine, though. Alright, well, let's... Oh, they have ring protection. Okay. But they don't have much else going on. Tower, mine, power plant brings them to 7. And they got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this would actually give them Emrakul, which I kind of want to keep them off of. The Seiju. Do I let them have a Beseiju? Do I let them have a Beseiju? That could take out one of my tokens. I think I'll let them have the Beseiju. I have the Mycosynth Gardens here. And I don't particularly want this Extirpate right now. Just kind of waffling about on... Yeah, that's reasonable. I kind of didn't think about that. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it. Didn't think about that. Shouldn't have let them have the Beseiju. No. And you may draw an Expedition map now. Well, I need to replace that ring, that needle. Dang. A Lapse in Judgment. Shouldn't have let them have the Beseiju. And now next turn, they can just cast Emrakul and make my day miserable. And I can't really afford for them to have that Ulamog either. I have plenty of lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would give me enough. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to exile. Going to exile again. Jeez, man, seriously? Dude, that is absolutely brutal. Yeah, that Boseiju was really bad. I shouldn't have let them have that. Fortunately, I've got a Pithing Needle now. So, the One Ring is back under lock. Unfortunately, they're gonna control me during my next turn. Yeah, I can't really let them do that. Gonna make them shuffle. Oh my god. Alright. Yeah, I gotta make them shuffle again. Wow, they just had runner, 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 runner. So they just have a completely unknown card in hand now. I think I'd die if I don't have an Ensnaring Bridge on top. And this was all because I made a judgment call and a mistake. And I allowed them to drop a Boseiju when I didn't see the needle on the One Ring. I could have... Yeah, I'm just dead. Unless there's an Ensnaring Bridge on top of my deck right now. Which I know that there's a Thoughtseize. It was an Expedition map. Dude, this is brutal. I have regrets. There's a Thoughtseize on top of my deck. Let's get rid of that. Bridge or bust. That is an extirpate. Okay. I don't have any out, do I? I'll just double check. I don't think I do. Yeah, that's game. Wow. Oh, man. If I hadn't made the mistake with the Boseiju... Of course you don't let them drop a Boseiju. Alright. Let's go ahead and move on to round 3. Okay, we are on round 3 versus Grizzlesram. I will play first, thank you. Nah, sorry, this is a ship. It doesn't have any plan. This is a keep. Keep. Bottom that extra spot. Let's go ahead and play this Blooming Marsh into Lantern. F6. A Frontier Bivouac. There's no way that it's correct to play this over Ketria Triumph, right? Frontier Bivouac, they said. What on earth am I playing against? Verdant Catacombs. I'm gonna play an Urza's Saga. And I'm gonna play a Profane Tutor. And they got a Null Drifter. Frontier Bivouac. There's another one. And a third. Why does my opponent like Frontier Bivouac so much? Like, genuinely, why? Like, do I make constructs here? I don't think I want this Ancient Stirrings. And I do think I make constructs. I don't think I need to play this Ensnaring Bridge until my opponent shows me something. And I have that Profane Tutor on suspend right now. Frontier Bivouac, huh? There's the Ketria Child. Frontier Bivouac. They only have one Null Drifter in hand. Now they have 0 that I know of. They still have 4 unknowns. Oh, if I had been smart, then I could have made constructs and played a... Come on, there you go. And played a Thoughtseize, but since I wasn't smart, then I can't do that. Oops. I wasn't going to draw the dead card on top of my deck anyway. I should have played the Mycosynth Gardens. That's okay. I think I'm just gonna grab a Thoughtseize. Like, I don't know what they're playing. And I pretty badly want to find out. But I'm not entirely convinced that it is correct to... Hello? There we go. Oh, yes, I drew the Blooming Marsh, so now I can just do everything that I want. Yeah, I will grab a Pixis here. Let's grab a Pixis. And now play the Blooming Marsh and Thoughtseize my opponent. Let's see what on earth they're playing. Oh, it's Through the Breach. You have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. I think I'm just gonna try and kill them. Like, they've got what? They've got the Roaring Furnace. They've got the Frontier Bivouac. They've got Desert and Through the Breach. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and kill them. You can draw the Ketria Triumph, that's fine. 1 damage to target attacking creature. Activate only during the end of combat step. Tech land I was considering for Lantern. Oh, and they played their land first. Oh. They played the Steaming Sauna, huh? Yeah, you got it. Desert is gone. And this Beseju is not going to be something that you draw. Goodbye, Beseju. You may draw this other Steaming Sauna. Calibrated Blast. Wow. Alright, my opponent's on some spice today. Gonna use his Stirrings, grab a Codex Shredder. Gonna play this. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. When you reveal a non-land card this way, it deals damage equal to that card's mana value to any target. So they just got a deck absolutely chock full of big, fat things. Oh, I guess I could have made my attack slightly larger. Oh, whatever. You may not have a Calibrated Blast. You may have... Oh, wait, no, you may not have an Emrakul Aeon Storm. Never mind. You may have an Ottawara. Ottawara is fine. And now it's on my opponent to figure out how to win. And I can't believe I missed that 2 points of damage earlier. That really annoys me. Frontier Bivouac is gone. Beginning of your end step, draw a card. That's fine. Through the Breach. Let's go ahead and have that become a copy of that right there. Okay, and my opponent's just facing lethal. I'm going to play this Urza Saga. My opponent is playing some incredible spice. They've got Calibrated Blast, they've got Steaming Sauna, Desert, triple Frontier Bivouac. They have Ketria Tarion too, but they also have Frontier Bivouac. And they are going to die with an Ottawara Soaring City in hand. Or maybe they won't die with the Ottawara Soaring City in hand, but they're going to die anyway. Just... what on earth is my opponent doing? I don't know. Duress has come in. Just get in the deck, Duress. Inquisitions are bad against their rooms, but they're good against their Calibrated Blast, so I'm not convinced that they need to go. What's bad against them is this Witherbloom command is bad. I feel like if I'm going to be bringing in Duresses, then I will substitute Collective Brutalities. I feel like I want the Extirpates. And I don't think I need the Grafdigger's Cage. Calibrated Blast. It just reveals the card. Yeah, I don't think I want Grafdigger's Cage. I think I want to keep the Inquisitions. So I'm going to try and find one more cut. Do I need all 3 Pithing Needles? Did I find anything in their deck that was worthy of a Pithing Needle? You can't Pithing... Well, you can Pithing Needle a rune, but it doesn't do anything. You could Pithing Needle a 𝗟𝗓𝗡? Could Pithing Needle an 𝗟𝗓𝗩𝗘 Labyrinth? Could Pithing Needle Boseiju and Otawara, which they had both of. Alright, I'll keep all 3 needles in. Which means I need to find a cut somewhere else. Cling to Dust is the cut. Yeah, let's just get rid of those. I'm gonna keep my Inquisitions in. I know that they have the rooms and stuff, but I think that my discard is a better answer to those. Ooh, I could bring in an Assassin's Trophy. And I guess I'll bring that in over a Pithing Needle. All right. Dude, I really need a light for my desk. Changing light in the screen is really the only light that I have. And it's not fantastic. There we go. Wow, this hand does nothing. Mulligan. This hand has a plan. I think I bottom a land here. I'm gonna bottom the Mycosynth Gardens. Oh, I'm on the board against this deck. I'm gonna keep this, and I'm gonna bottom the Mycosynth Gardens. Yeah. 𝗟𝗓𝗩𝗘's Labyrinth with a no drifter under it. So my opponent could cast a Calibrated Blast just completely naked right now. Oh, they mulled to 6? Let's play this on the black side and play a Lantern. That is another null drifter that they're about to draw. Ramanop Ruins with a desert sub-theme, huh? That's something. Unfortunately, I'm about to completely rip their hand apart. Let's start off with an Inquisition. Let's not start off with an Inquisition. Target card from your graveyard to your hand. I'm just They're short on colors. I don't know, like they've got Null Drifter, they've got Colossals, they got Colossal Sky Turtle, 2 of them, and then one of the new card. I'm just not really sure how to attack this hand. Like, I could take the Colossal Sky Turtle, but I'm not entirely certain that I even care about that much. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. It's got Ward 2 and Flying. Like, my opponent doesn't even really have a way of playing the cards in their hand. I mean, I guess I'll take the Steaming Sauna. Do I want to draw this Assassin's Trophy? I could Assassin's Trophy the 𝗟𝗓𝗩𝗘's Labyrinth with a Null Drifter underneath of it. I don't think that's really that big of a deal. I don't think I care about that. Yeah, their opponent, the deck seems neat. I think it's more of a proof of concept than anything. Oh. They have Ruga the Macro Sage as their companion. Draw a card for each other permanent you control with mana value 3 or greater, and you can only play stuff with 3 or greater. I don't know if losing even Preordain is worth this. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna Thought Seize them, and I guess I'll take the room. Like, I guess I'll take the room here. I don't know. I don't know, man. Their deck is super off meta. Alright, so they got a Ramanop Ruins. They don't really have a path to be casting any of the cards in their hand. And I might want to focus on that. I don't think that I need to be doing anything right this second, though. Yeah, you should try it out sometime. Gemstone Caverns, which is their land. They put Karuga to hand. They just don't have green or blue. They just straight up don't have green or blue. So I think I'm just gonna keep them off green and blue mana. I should have played I should not have played my land for turn. Do I even want an Ensnaring Bridge here? I guess I'll have an Ensnaring Bridge, but I don't think I'm gonna be casting it quite yet. And my opponent's mana is just so miserably bad. A colorless card with mana value 7 or greater. So they cannot put anything in their hand under this Uggin's Labyrinth. I don't think I want them drawing this Calibrated Blast. I just don't think that's necessary. I'm sorry, did I not? There we go. I don't think I want them drawing that Calibrated Blast. But I will... I think I'm gonna Thoughtseize them. I think I'm gonna cast this and I'm gonna look for Thoughtseize. Yes, I want to cast it. Thank you. I want to cast this card. And I want to grab a Thoughtseize. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and I'm just gonna keep them off of stuff. I'm just gonna take the Null Drifter. I don't even think I'm gonna play any of these. Like, none of this really matters. They can deal... they actually can't even activate the Ramanop Ruins. This is kind of a mess on my opponent's side. There's an Uggin's Labyrinth. Like, I just don't even need to let them have this Boseiju. I could just exile both of these. I think I'm fine with that. I would very much like another Mana Rock. I don't think I want them drawing that Otawara either. Another Ramanop Ruins is perfectly fine. So they can crack one Ramanop Ruins now. And I'm just going to color screw them for the rest of the game. Until I find an Urza Saga. Alright. Cross step. Let's take that Null Drifter out of your deck because I saw that you put that back in your hand. Let's take it out of your hand. Let's get a nice, good look at my opponent's deck here. They got Through the Breach. They got Stormkeld Vanguard. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. They got this guy. They got 𝗟𝗟𝗩𝗘. They got Colossal Sky Turtle. They got 3 more Besejus, which is kind of scary. They got Blightsteel Colossus, which I guess will eventually be a problem. Very interesting. Yeah, you can have a desert. That's fine. Like, I don't even want to play the Ensnaring Bridge because I feel like I'm eventually going to find an Urza Saga and I'm just going to win with that. Desert is fine. Play that on the black side. Alright, yeah, you can't have an 𝗟𝗟𝗩𝗘. Let's exile that. You may have a Frontier Bivouac. Actually, can they have a Frontier Bivouac? I don't think so. I think that kind of unlocks a decent chunk of what they've got going on. Because the Karuga needs... Oh, it needs green and blue. But this just needs either or. And then they can get anything in their graveyard, which currently is just this guy. I don't know, I just feel like that's kind of a way for them to unlock what they're doing. I don't think I need to do that. Yeah, see, they could just draw that, and it's fine. I'm gonna Inquisition... I'm not gonna Inquisition them. I don't need to. Yeah, this is fine. Go ahead, sacrifice your Ramanap Ruins. And, yeah. Yeah, I'd rather you not have a Calibrated Blast. That could just KO me in one hit. So I think I'm going to make you exile that. 𝗟𝗟𝗩𝗘, huh? Oh, but I'm drawing a Pixis. Okay, this is fine. Let's go ahead and exile that 𝗟𝗟𝗘 as well. Hello? Hello? There we go. I need to restart my client. I didn't restart it between matches. This is... Is the mana cost on this just not... Whatever. It's probably a green card, and they don't have green mana, so... One Otawara doesn't actually get them in many places. Oh, well. Alright. So after a very long and tedious game, I have officially bored my opponent to death. Would have... Whatever. Here, let me go ahead and actually address chat for a minute. So... Yeah, I did watch 𝗟𝗟𝗘's video, and if you haven't watched 𝗟𝗟𝗘's most recent video, go do it. I have a link to his channel in the description of this stream, actually. But, yeah, the Amulet Titan matchup was just Honestly, all of it was really rough. But I feel like most of that was just learning to play the Nightlight version. It doesn't play like traditional. It plays very differently. And if you're not going to... like, you can't really transfer your experience of traditional to Nightlight. It's honestly very much of a different deck. But yeah, I'm sure Enzo was very happy that you enjoyed the video. He put a lot of work into it, and honestly, I enjoyed watching it too. All right, let me go ahead and start up round 4, actually. Okay, we are on round 4 versus Bach. Hello, Bach. I would like to play first against you. I feel like I've been playing first a lot. I will keep this hand. It has Shredder Bauble in it to find my first little bit. It has an Ancient Stirrings that can try and find a Lantern. And my opponent is just straight up F6'd. That is a swamp. Am I getting Thoughtseized? Yes. Alright, well now Ancient Stirrings can try and find another bridge, because I have a feeling that I'm playing against like Mono Black Necro or something like that. Oh, they discarded the Stirrings. Am I going to get discarded again? Yeah, I'll keep the bauble. That's fine. Something good? Another ensnaring bridge. I'll take it. All right. Well, I have more options now. Still looking for a discard spell or something like that. Oh. Oh. My opponent's playing Reanimator. Alright. Yeah, we want a Thoughtseize. Hey, look at that. That's a Thoughtseize. I'll take it. Lantern? No. I'll take a Collective Brutality, though. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize our opponent. Oh, they're not playing Lantern. Oh, man, though. This is... this is rough. This is kind of rough. This is kind of rough. I could take the Sheoldred and the March. If this Brutality was like another discard spell, then I'd probably a different discard spell, then I'd probably take Necro. But I think because it's not, I think I'm going to take Sheoldred with this. And then I'm going to take... Do I drain my opponent? That's interesting. I don't need 2 bridges against them. And they're certainly not going to draw Thoughtseize, are they? That's kind of risky, though, isn't it? Like, if they just top deck a Thoughtseize, then I'm in really big trouble if I discard one of these bridges. Is there really that big of a difference between 18 and 16 life? I don't think so. Alright, so Sheoldred's gone. And unfortunately, because I do not have the Underworld Cookbook in my deck, then I'm not as equipped to handle this matchup as I normally would be. I'm going to take the March of Wretched Sorrow here. Are they going to fetch for that? Yeah, that's fine. They milled a Boggart Trawler. Should I blind mill them? I feel like I should blind mill them, right? Yeah, that's just a Necro. Are they just gonna dump their entire life total into this thing? No, they did not. They've got 7 cards in hand. I could mill them into a Nethergoyf, I guess. Oh, right. Necrodominance. Exiles. Okay, yeah. Blind milling is fine. An Isochron Scepter. That's interesting. Urza Saga. Yeah, I'm officially not casting either of my Ensnaring Bridges now. It just discarded a Fatal Push. They don't get to draw more cards. Yeah, that's fine. They have to spend life to draw cards now? They found an Orcish Bowmasters. It's fine, I suppose. Do I copy Codex Shredder with the Mycosynth Gardens to make my constructs bigger? Yeah, sure. I think I'm fully on the construct plan now. My opponent just needs to pay life to do anything. It's a Grafdigger's Cage. I don't think I need that. They have another Necrodominance in their deck, so I actually don't know what they have in hand right now. Skip their draw step. There's a Marsh Flats. What could they have? Like a sorcery speed, sort of. I guess they could have a March of Wretched Sorrow. They'd have to pay a little bit of extra mana into. I don't think that matters. I think I'm just going to create the construct and block it. Yeah, Fatal Push, that's fine. You got it. Got another Orcish Bowmasters, huh? Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna take a ton of damage here. They're gonna draw a ton of cards. They're gonna fall to 4. I'm gonna mill them. A Palantir of Orthanc, huh? That's an interesting card. I don't think that Urza Saga is the best plan anymore. I think I'm just gonna float. I think I'm gonna grab a lantern. And I'm gonna play an Ensnaring Bridge. Fall to 7. And whatever my opponent does here, they need to be able to do it nicely. They need to be able to do it quickly because they're running out of life. Do they have the Shield Ring? This looks like a 1-ring? Ooh, really? Yeah, I guess that's fine. Let's go ahead and clear their reveal. They're gonna draw a swamp if they draw anything. They drew a swamp and a Fatal Push. And they have 3 other cards in hand. So I will mill myself here. I'm gonna try and dig for either an answer to... Oh, I don't really need to dig for an answer to the 1-ring, do I? This puts me to 2, which means that a sandbagged Soul Spike would cause me trouble. I guess a Sandbag Soul Spike is going to cause me trouble anyway, isn't it? Well, let's hope they don't have a Sandbag Soul Spike, because that would be kind of embarrassing. And they don't really have the luxury of tapping the One Ring here. They have to win with what's on board. I think they can do it. Alright, so the swamp is played. Yeah, if they have a Soul Spike in hand, I am dead. There is no Black Lightning Bolt, so I'm okay with just drawing this land and playing my Ensnaring Bridge. Alright. Now we're just gonna stare at each other for a while. I think I'm going to bring myself up to 5 lands. I'm going to get this Collective Brutality back, and I'm just going to kill them that way. I don't think I need to do anything fancier than that. Yeah, let's just go ahead and mill myself to another land. It's a land. They did draw a card. They're just gonna kill themselves? I mean, I'll take it, sure. Unfortunately, I did reveal the Assassin's Trophy. That's annoying. Nice. Alright, so they did kill themselves here. That was a bit hairy, wasn't it? Anyway, how do I board against Necro? I'm sure I do not have a sideboard guide made for Necro quite yet. So I guess whatever I choose to do here is just what I do. Alright, how do I do this? Bloodchief's Thirst kills their random creatures, and it also kills Shieldrids, which is kind of annoying. Terra Sunder answers Necro and answers the One Ring. Assassin's Trophy answers Necro and Shieldred. I don't know if I need Extirpate, especially since their Necro Exile stuff. What's bad against them? I don't think I want to sideboard out the Cling to Dust, because I think I need a way to gain life. Even if it's just a little bit. I think the Grafdigger's Cage is bad. Even in the face of the One Ring, I don't think I need all those Pithy Needles. Witherbloom Command is just a drain too. Collective Brutality is a nice little gotcha, but I don't actually think it's that relevant. I think Profane Tutor is incredibly relevant though. Maybe I don't bring in all 4 Bloodchief's Thirst. Maybe I only bring in 2 of them. Yeah, I'm gonna try just bringing in 2 of them. Then I'm gonna do this. I don't know how correct this is. This is just an experiment. I'm gonna see what happens. Alright, let's go ahead and run this back and see what happens. This is a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep this. This has all 3 of my lands. It's a bit vulnerable to a Pithing Needle, I think. So let's go ahead and fix that by fetching a basic Swamp. Actually, I'm going to Inquisition my opponent here. Why would you keep this hand? Because you can just aggro out Voidwalker into Voidwalker? Target opponent may have you draw a card. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Palantir. Alright, that's fine, I guess. My opponent's going to draw something unknown. Swamp Dauthi Voidwalker down. I'm going to fetch a basic forest here. That's weird. Don't know why I did that. And I'm going to suspend Profane Tutor. I'm going to take a little bit of damage from these Dauthi Voidwalkers. There's a Marsh Flats, which I did not know about. That's a Dauthi Voidwalker, which I did. And I just need to go down to 2 cards in hand by the time that that comes down. Ah, well. Of course I did that. Of course I did that. I'm not going to be drawing this Thoughtseize anyway. I could play the Verdant Catacombs, play this off of a Swamp, and then sandbag the fetch to try and give myself a little more consistency once my upkeep happens. I'm going to let them draw the Orcish Bowmasters if they don't fetch here. Yeah. And I'm going to fall to 9. But you just hard cast a Profane Tutor? That's kind of annoying. It is free for me to mill myself here. No, please don't. Please don't. Assassin's Trophy. I think I'm still going to cast the Profane Tutor. And grab the Ensnaring Bridge. Do I want this Codex Shredder? I draw this, I go down to 2 cards. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and fetch my other basic here. There we go. Shredder. Bridge. And F6. So my opponent can bring me to 5-4. Really? Which is a pretty low life total, I think. Please get that. Thank you. Okay. Do I let them have this Dauthi Voidwalker? I think at this point it's fine. I'm not feeling very comfy about this. Honestly, I'm not feeling very comfy about this. I can fall to 3 here, actually. Because they can swing with these 2, that puts me to 5. And then 4-3. When they cast the other Ogreish Bowmaster, it pings me. And this guy grows. Oh, they didn't do that. Huh. Alright, so they're going to cast their first thing, which is probably a Profane Tutor. Again, give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. My cat is just causing a lot of trouble. So my opponent used 𝗟𝗓𝗩 Voidwalker to cast my Profane Tutor from exile and play a Necrodominance. And I just have no counterplay to this. That is a Boggart Trawler. So let's go ahead and see what they're going to draw. We're going to draw a Fatal Push. And a whole mess of other stuff. Whole mess of other stuff. I'm just going to see what they discard first. I need... What do I need here? I need an answer to the One Ring. I really would rather not give them another 𝗟𝗓𝗩 Voidwalker. Did I side out a Needle? I hope I didn't side out a Needle. And I'm going to go ahead and give them another Profane Tutor, unfortunately. I'll keep the Ancient Stirrings on top of my deck. Alright, so they have discarded into exile. Thoughtseize, Fell the Profane, Bloodstained Mire, Fatal Push, Swamp, another Fatal Push, and another Swamp. Which means their hand has Orcish Bowmasters, 𝗟𝗓𝗩 Voidwalker, and Unknown, the One Ring, and Bloodstained Mire. If I can find a Pithing Needle with all of these Ancient Stirrings, that is an Urza Saga. I'm gonna fail to find here. Yeah, because they could Orcish Bowmasters me, put me to 1. Maybe even 0 if they get the correct stuff. I'm gonna fail to find. That sucks. Let's go ahead and mill myself a little more. Terra Sunder. Well, I certainly can't allow them to have that. Okay. Yeah. Alright. So they're going to be able to play whatever they want off of this 𝗟𝗓𝗩 Voidwalker now. I'm just gonna have to figure it out. They still have an Unknown in hand, too. Yeah, they probably just get another Profane Tutor. Profane Tutor. And they have another unknown. There's the Bloodstained Mire. And that's a Sheoldred, which is expected, honestly. I think this game has gotten away from me. I'm going to... Sheoldred's gone. So they have a Necro Dominance on top of their deck right now, which they're certainly going to draw. Alongside a whole bunch of other stuff. They have Wrath of the Skies? Are you serious? Right, you know what? I'm going to concede this game. I don't think I'm going to win this. Okay, so what did we learn? Profane Tutor pairs horribly with Dauthi Voidwalker. Bathing Needles need to come in. Might even want to bring in some number of Duress. Duress hits exactly like Necrodominance in the One Ring that I really care about. It also hits Wrath of the Skies. I'll bring in Duresses over Baubles and bring in a Bloodchief's Thirst. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and see how I feel about it. I would like to be on the play. This hand doesn't cast any of its cards. I gotta mulligan this. This is basically the first hand, except a little bit better. I'll keep and I'll bottom a Lantern. This hand desperately needs a second land. If I have a second land on top of my deck, I'm in pretty good shape. Let's find out. That's not a second land, but that's okay. Soul Spike. Alright, that's fine. They milled the land, which tells me that they have all the lands that they need. Land on top of my deck? No. I do need to find my second land here, so I'm going to play this Codex Shredder. Palantirs, man. Nasty stuff. But I just need the second land so badly. There it is. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and rip our opponent's hand apart. You got it. Orcish Bowmasters is fine. So they have ooh, wow. Yeah, they were about to Wrath of the Skies me. That's terrifying. Do I just take the Wrath of the Skies and the Palantir? Let my opponent Thoughtseize me. They'll take the Ensnaring Bridge. And then I'm just down to taking 2 damage a turn. Until I find an answer to this. Yeah, I think that's fine. And now they only have Soul Spike and Godless Shrine. Necro siding in white just for Wrath of the Skies is terrifying. Do I even let my opponent Thoughtseize me? Yeah, I have the Bloodchief's Thirst in hand. I think it's fine. And I really don't want them drawing something nasty underneath. Like, the Orcish Bowmasters, I don't really need them to have. Godless Shrine is coming into play tapped, and they're not Thoughtseizing me. I think I'm going to try and mill myself into a third land. Guess a Codex Shredder is fine too. And I'm going to cast this on the Bowmaster, so that when their Orc army grows, then Bridge will handle it more easily. Yeah, I think I'm fine with this. My opponent didn't cast the Thoughtseize last turn when they could have, and it's just... They're going to cast the Orcish Bowmasters now? Yeah. They really should be Thoughtseizing me. Now I'm under a little bit more pressure. There they go. They're Thoughtseizing me. Yep. Take my Ensnaring Bridge. And now I'm under pressure to find... Not Thoughtseize. That's not what I want. Ancient Stirrings is pretty good. Ancient Stirrings, try and find another bridge, maybe? I'll take an Urza Saga. Urza Saga can solo this board. So they have Soul Spike in their hand, and that's it. I'm going to fall to 9. And then I'm going to make constructs that are big enough to block all of these creatures. Alright, I'm pretty happy with how the game is progressing now. They're going to play their Boggart Trawler, exile my graveyard. Goodbye, Cling to Dust. It was never meant to be. The Boggart Trawler is gone. I'm okay with everyone's draws. I'm now going to fall to 6. Which means eventually I will need to take that Soul Spike out of my opponent's hand. Marsh Flats. You can't have that. Soul Spike is a 7 mana card, right? 7, yeah. Alright, so they're probably going to swing in. They do swing in. I'm going to fall to 6, and then I'm not going to take any more damage for the rest of the game. Right? Yeah, because I'm going to block this. And then I just make 2 more constructs. Oh, I didn't mill the opponent's Necrodominance. Oh, that's so bad. That might actually cost me. Alright, let's see what artifacts I can get. Gonna get a Pixis. Thoughtseize my opponent, take the Soul Spike. Do I attack here? If I attack, I'll go to 3, and then if my opponent draws something relevant, I'll go to 2. I think this is a pretty safe attack. Yeah, I did forget to mill the Necro at their end step. Quite unfortunate. Now I need to play a little bit of keep away here. Yo, that's not a runner. We take that. All right, so they got a swamp. And I win the match. Okay. Yeah, I probably should have milled the Necro Dominance there. So this exact matchup is why I was worried about not having the Underworld Cookbook in my deck. Because if I hide behind, if I get just dumpstered on by a shield grid, then I'm in trouble. I feel like if I had an Underworld Cookbook in my deck in the second game, it might have been okay. But, I don't know. I feel like I managed just fine without it. But, I don't know. I think I have to play this matchup a little bit more. I think that my sideboarding my sideboarding plan for game 2 was just terrible. I should not have sideboarded that way for game 2. I think game 3 is a little bit better. I'll have to review that and see how I feel. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get round 5 started. I'll be right back. Okay, round 5 versus Hypnos TV. Hello, Hypnos TV. I would like to play first against you. Positive record is locked in, but I'm not going to get a 4-1 with this hand. That's pretty bad. Maybe with this hand, though. I think I will bottom the Mycosynth Guardians. My opponent did not fetch Shock. Did not reveal a... My opponent did not reveal a Giganta. That's what I meant to say. Jeez. Do I fetch a basic here, or do I fetch an Overgrown 2? I have a Thoughtseize in hand already. I don't really want to, Subtlety. I don't want to lose too much life. Okay. You may have a Subtlety. I'm playing against Jeskai. My opponent is burning time on their clock, thinking about what to do, and not burning time on their clock, playing lands and spells. Oh, it's not Jeskai, it's blue-black. Base, 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 base. All right. You may have a counterspell if that's what you want. They did not take the counterspell. They polluted Delta. Not polluted dead, polluted Delta. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and... That's not a land. I think I'm gonna Thoughtseize first. Alright, so this hand just straight up dies to an ensnaring bridge. What do I want to take out of it? Cling to Dust is a cantrip. I'm certainly not making Saga constructs this game. If I wanted to be an absolute douche, I could needle their Delta. I don't even know if that's the correct play, given that they have a Preordain on top of their deck. I could. No, but if I Pixis the Preordain away, then it's not going to really matter. I don't want this second needle, for sure. I could take the Orcish Bowmasters. Which is going to remove their clock. Yeah, sure, I'll take the Bowmasters. That's fine. And I'm not going to needle. I'm going to exile this Preordain. You may have a Murktide Regent. Didn't need to do that right then. Oh well. Really? Okay, I'm going to draw this Darkboar pathway. They're going to draw a Murktide Regent. They're going to play their Polluted Delta. Interesting. Don't get instantitis, opponent. You can just cast that Cling to Dust right now and put that Archmage's Charm into your hand. They got instantitis. Gonna play this as the green land, and I'm going to force the issue with this Pithing Needle. And I'm just gonna name Psychic Frog with it. Just gonna name Psychic Frog. They kept on top. Psychic Frog. And of course I will be taking this counterspell out of their hand. The goal here is to resolve a ensnaring bridge. And here's that Cling to Dust. That's gone. Counterspell and Spell Pierce, which they can't have. Spell Pierce is exiled. You may have an Orcish Bowmasters. And absolutely chock full of creature removal. Given that I'm not really doing anything else with my mana right now, I may as well just make the construct. I think I am gonna just grab another Pixis here. Ooh, that's a Profane Tutor. Yeah, I'll keep that. I actually think I will keep this. Yeah, I want to draw that. So that means that I'm going to allow my bauble trigger to resolve, and then I'm going to exile this Consider. Fatal Push on my construct. Who could have guessed? Oh, Grafdigger's Cage would deal with that Cling to Dust. I don't need it. Ooh, yes. Big push. And now they can cast this Murktide Regent that they have in their hands, but they're not going to be able to counter this Ensnaring Bridge when it comes down. They chose to play the Murktide Regent into it anyway. So they've got Subtlety, Fatal Push, Spell Snare, Counterspell, Orcish Bowmasters, and Fatal Push. None of those cards are named Force of Negation, unfortunately for my opponent. So I'm just going to do this. Okay. Game's done. Game, set, match, right there. Murktide Regent. Okay. Let's just go ahead and suspend this. That Urza Saga is going to grab a Codex Shredder. Bowmasters is fine. I don't care. Heck, you can even draw 2 lands and play that Subtlety if you want. Psychic Frog, completely irrelevant. Profane Tutor is going to eat a counterspell, in all likelihood. This Urza Saga is literally just a slow cantrip. A slow tutor, that's all it is. Subtlety, Fatal Push, Spell Snare, Counterspell. Fatal Push again, and Murktide Regent. Yeah, that's fine. Another counterspell, sure. My opponent should not have given me an opportunity to cast this Ensnaring Bridge. They should have just beat down with these constructs, I think. Well, the Fomori Vault would be probably correct to get with the Profane Tutor, but Profane Tutor's not going to resolve. Like, I'm just going to cast it, and my opponent's just going to use one of the 2 counterspells that they have in their hand to just counter this. I'm going to draw this Cling to Dust. I'm going to Cling to Dust on my opponent's Galding Tarn, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Oh, Bowmasters, right. Oh well. Counterspells out of the hand. Okay, let's go ahead and play this. I'm gonna grab this Mycosynth Gardens. I'm gonna use it to copy a Pixis or a Shredder or something. I'm gonna use this Saga to gain grab a Shredder. And I'm going to use it to break parity. Although I suppose I've already broken parity a little bit. Codex Shredder. It's so nice to just be able to do things without worrying about counterspells. It's just so incredibly nice. Urza Saga and Mycosynth Gardens are huge upgrades for the deck. And this game is over. You may flash into Subtlety. So get your F6 equity, get your F0 equity. I don't really care about Fomori Vault. Like, Fomori Vault is a very good land, but like, look at my board state. I don't need Fomori Vault right now. I do, however, need to kill my opponent. So, sure. Counter this Codex Shredder. Didn't even bother. Lots of consistency. The interesting thing here is at this point in the game, I don't care if these are preordains and considers, or if they're, you know, ponders and brainstorms. Isn't that interesting? I think this deck might be portable to Legacy. Toxic Deluge. I don't need to let you draw that. Alright, and we got game 1. Okay, let's get started on game 2. So my sideboard plan for this matchup includes siding out 2 Pithing Needles, 2 Collective Brutalities, and a Grafdigger's Cage. But I think I should also be siding out a Witherbloom Command. And I'm going to bring in 3 Bloodchief's Thirst and 3 Duress. Is there another cut I could make? Don't think I need Cling to Dust. I think that could just be another Bloodchief's Thirst. Yeah, I think this is a decent. I think this is a decent sideboard plan. Let's go ahead and run with it and see what happens. All right, what does this hand do? This hand does. This hand has 2 bridges in it. It has an Urza Saga in it. I think I'm gonna. It's not the hand that I would like to keep. The hand that I would like to keep has a ton of discard in it. But, you know, First Ensnaring Bridge is kind of like a discard spell, I guess. They scryed 1 top, 1 bottom. Am I going to draw another land? No, I'm going to draw an Inquisition. I think this is a turn 1 Urza Saga hand. I really want to get my Lantern online as quickly as possible. Ooh, yes, Sink into Stupor as a land. I love to see that. I love to see that. I'm gonna try and bait a counterspell here with this Pixis. Come on, you know you want to counter this. You know you want to. It's so... Aw. They didn't fall for it. Do you want to counter this? Oh, wow. I should not have played my Urza Saga on turn 1. Dang. Well, I can just keep them off threats. Counterspell, Force, Counterspell, Consign, Archmage's Charm. I'm gonna need to take that Archmage's Charm eventually. But I think right now I need to take the Psychic Frog. And they have an unknown. Kind of wish that unknown was a complete blank, like a basic swamp. That would be great. Yeah, I don't even think I need to play Ensnaring Bridge this match. Let's go ahead and grab a Lantern of Insight with this. Wow, they didn't counter it with Consign to Memory. Do I take them off this Harbinger of the Seas? Let's find out. Psychic Frog is gone. They could steal my Lantern of Insight and then make me sacrifice it. So I think I'm going to keep this Mycosynth Gardens up as protection for that. They have to shock that in, right? Yeah. And I'm just never going to tap the Mycosynth Gardens. Could have milled myself there. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And they're just going to draw 2 with Archmage's Charm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in hand. They're doing something with Archmage's Charm here. Yep, they are going to gain control of my Lantern of Insight. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm just going to have myself shuffle. Yeah, I'll take that. Force of Negation. Yeah, you can have as many counterspells as in your hand as you want. Now, notably, they cannot actually play a Murktide Regent if that's what they've been sandbagging this entire time. They currently have the capacity to play 3 counterspells. It's a lot of counterspells. But if I mill this Psychic Frog, then they can all of a sudden play a Murktide Regent. It would be a 5/5. It would be a 5/5 Murktide Regent. I have 2 Ensnaring Bridges in hand. That means I would have to find 2 discard spells. I think that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just draw the Codex Shredder. I'm gonna play this as Slitherbore Pathway. And if their last card in hand is not a Murktide Regent, but is instead a dead card, like another counterspell, perhaps, then I'm PG King. Pluto Delta. Pluto Delta is gone. They are going to fetch here. It is a Murktide Regent. Yep. That's a 5/5 Murktide Regent. I am going to fetch myself into answers for this thing. I do not want this Verdant Catacombs. I'm gonna exile here. And I don't want this Codex Shredder. Assassin's Trophy, I will take. Wow. Alright, so my opponent has how many counter spells? They have 5 counterspells in hand. Which is a lot of counterspells. I have a lot of answers to this Murktide Regent, though. And I can keep them off of any additional anythings. I will take the hit here. They have to keep Psychic Frog on top, right? They did keep Psychic Frog on top. So I'm going to Assassin's Trophy this. It's going to get countered. That's fine. I'm now going to mill them. And I think I actually may have made a little bit of a miscalculation with the Murktide Regent timing. This is going to eat a counterspell. You didn't need to use a consigned memory on that. Fatal Push is in hand. Let's just see how this goes. I'm gonna pull the 9. They have the ability to play... Oh, wait. I need one more piece of discard. And it needs to not be a Thoughtseize. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize my opponent here. This is an interesting thing. I think I take the counterspell here. I'm going to take the counterspell. I'm going to play the Ensnaring Bridge number 2. It's going to eat a Force of Negation, hard cast. That's fine. And now I need to dig myself into exactly Inquisition or Strand. Yeah, I need to dig myself into either Inquisition or Duress. I have the ability to look at the top 6 cards of my library to try and find it. Thoughtseize will not do it. Let's go ahead and exile. That's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it. That's also not gonna do it. I'll go ahead and exile again. Shame. Bloodchief's Thirst isn't gonna do it either. Oof. Profane Tutor also isn't good enough. Yeah, I'm sacking Lantern. I need to draw Duress or Inquisition here. That wasn't it. Okay. Dang, that sucks. My timing on the Murktide Regent was what did that one in. I still think my sideboarding plan is good. I think the Bloodchief's Thirst is good. But, yeah, that sucks. Alright. I'll keep this. I think I will keep this. My opponent has mulligan to 6. I am going to fetch Shock with this hand. I've got an Ancient Stirrings and a Duress that I need to cast, and I have no guarantee that I'm going to find my 3rd land. Well, I do need to find... I'm going to find my 3rd land with the Stirrings, I guess. Ooh. Oh. Oh, this is an interesting spread of cards. I'm going to take the Forest. I'm going to be disciplined. I need to get my mana under me if I'm going to be able to cast anything. It's really tempting to grab that Ensnaring Bridge, but I have no way of playing that Ensnaring Bridge if I don't draw this land. Alright, let's go ahead and Duress our opponent. Wow. Yeah. That's the sort of hand that you want to keep. I'll take your Force of Negation, and I'm gonna play an Urza's Saga game now. Good luck. How dare you keep that sort of hand against me, even though it works so well in the second game. Polluted Delta into their graveyard. Psychic Frog? Island. I'm just not going to cast spells. I'm going to make constructs, and I'm going to force my opponent to kill those constructs. No Consigned Memory on the second trigger. Orcish Bowmasters, maybe? Consider? If you're gonna consider, you may as well consider now. Alright, so my opponent has another unknown card in hand. They played one of the unknown cards. It was a land, which means they have at most one Fatal Push in hand right now. And I'm just going to grab a Lantern of Insight. Going to play a Swamp. Play a Pithing Needle. Make my opponent think about Pithing Needle on Flooded Strand. I'm going to name Psychic Frog no matter what they do here, I think. Actually, that's not necessarily true. I think I wouldn't have named Flooded Strand if they hadn't cracked it. Oh, that's too late. It's too late for Break in the Ice. They kept it on top anyway. Well, this is naming Psychic Frog. Alright. Take 5? Oh, and by the way, Break the Ice specifically is why we don't play Snow Basics anymore. It was fun while it lasted. Orcish Bowmasters as their last relevant card in hand. I have control of this game. You have a Break the Ice. That is perfectly reasonable. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Oh wait, no, I knew about the Flooded Strand. I think they have another unknown card in hand. I will exile that Consider. And I am going to just play this Fomori Vault as my land. I don't think I need to do anything more than just swing in. I don't need to cast this Blood Chief's Thirst right now. What's my opponent going to do? Yeah, see, I just ate it for free. There's another Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, Orcish Bowmasters is fine. My opponent still needs to answer my constructs. And they're not doing that right now. I think I'm going to activate Fomori Vault. I'm going to discard this forest. I'm going to try and find something else. I'm going to take a Mycosynth Gardens. Like, I just don't need to be doing anything. I just need to attack with my constructs. Let's go ahead and attack with everything. Am I going to just use the onboard trick and put them to 7? Sure, let's do that. Do I want to kill this Orcish Bowmasters? I just don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like I need to. I think I'm going to save these for something a little more threatening. Like, my opponent has Counterspell, Break the Ice in hand right now. They're about to have a third Counterspell. They're just not beating the constructs. Like, literally, all I have to do for the rest of the game is make them draw every single Counterspell in their deck, and then kill them with Urza Saga constructs. Now, I imagine that this Urza Saga eats a Break the Ice. Let's go ahead and attack with everything. And this next attack actually will be lethal. Well, it would have been lethal. It wouldn't have been lethal if my opponent had not blocked that attack. But I have an onboard trick with the Mycosynth Gardens next turn. So this game is wrapped up. What was that, a Force Negation? I'm gonna break the ice my Urza Saga? Oh no, what am I going to do? Alright, and now I'm going to do something fun, just for science. I'm going to copy a Pithing Needle with this Mycosynth Gardens, and have this be a life lesson to everyone watching this. Mycosynth Gardens creates a does not create a token or anything. Oh wow, dang it! They conceded before I got my life lesson out. The Mycosynth Gardens does not create a token copy. It just becomes a copy. So as it enters and when enters, effects do not trigger. So you have a Pithing Needle that doesn't have anything named on it. But yeah, this was a 4-1. A hard-fought and well-earned 4-1, I think. I could have played my second match a little bit better, I think. I made a couple of mistakes during the Necrodominance matchup that cost me the second game. But yeah, overall, I think this was a pretty strong showing of what the deck is capable of doing when it doesn't pair into Amulet Titan. Please help me. I don't know how to play against Amulet Titan. I haven't figured it out. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this list, actually. I really, really wish that I had played in the challenge. I feel like I'm ready for a challenge. I just missed it today. I straight up just missed the challenge. But yeah, I appreciate all 53 of you who tuned in and spent some time lurking. Maybe you were only here for 30 seconds, realized, ah, man, Lantern Control, ugh, and clicked out of the video. Still counts as engagement. I'll take it. Thank you to all of the pillars of the community who tuned in to watch. Y'all know who you are, and if anyone else watching doesn't know, just check the chat log, and the people who are talking the most are the people that you want to talk to. If you are interested in trying this deck out for yourself, then check the description. I have a lot of good links there. I have a link to my deck list, which is actually the long-term support recommendation. Long-term strategy, maybe. It is what I, as a longtime Lantern player and now content creator, recommend that you play if you are going to pick up the traditional build of Lantern Control. If you want more content for Lantern Control, then check out 𝗟𝗜𝗩𝗘's channel. I have a link to that in the description as well. He's been working very hard to make incredibly polished Lantern content. I'm well behind him when it comes to polished Lantern leagues turned into very beautiful videos. He actually released a version of Lantern that has Blood Moon in it, which was originally made by Arkanoid. You can check that out if you check out his channel. And I've also got a link to the Lantern Control Discord server. When NTG Salvation died, a lot of the folks in the Lantern community went to Reddit, and then they went to this Discord server. So we work in there pretty regularly. I'm in there regularly. Other pillars of the community are in there regularly. If you want to talk with us and see what it's like to play the deck, then hop in and say hi. I've only got a really small channel, and 𝗟𝗑𝗩𝗘's got a really small channel, and none of us are so high and mighty that we're not willing to, you know, say hi to our fans and to fans of Lantern in general. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I do not know what my schedule is going to be like. I don't know. I don't know yet. My life is a little bit crazy right now, so I don't know what my streaming schedule is going to be like. Imagine that I'll be available for Thursday night streams still, but Monday and Tuesday are kind of up in the air, and I'm really trying to get Tuesday challenges going regularly, but you know, we'll see. Again, thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. Maybe try playing some of this deck if you want to try, I don't know, a completely new strategy that catches people completely off guard. All right, take care, y'all.